Australian Mining's here at AIMEX, and with me today we've got Hedley from Hedweld, a local manufacturer for the mining sector. How are you today, Ian?
Very well, thank you.
Can you tell me how you're going at AIMEX? We've just started, but how are you going?
It's just started, but we've already had some interest. This year we're doing something a little different. We've actually bought our first product for the underground mining community, and we've also got some equipment that's used in the outside of the workshop area. Traditionally we've made workshop equipment only, so we're expanding our business there.
Can you show us what this does behind us?
Yeah, this is actually a rough terrain tyre handler, and the idea of it is it's very compact, so it can work within the shafts of a mine or in the confines of a workshop. And it basically allows safe handling of tyres up to 2 tonnes.
So at the moment this tyre handler is made in Australia and you're about to expand into the US?
That's right. We're already in the US. We have a US corporation, and we have been in the US for quite a few years, but mainly as just a marketing arm, although we have been doing some manufacturing through subcontractors in the US. But we've decided to not go ahead with our expansion in Australia, rather we're going to make our expansion happen in Idaho.
And what were the factors behind that move?
The main factors are obviously the cost of manufacturing in Australia, which is disappointing that neither the federal or state government are really looking after the manufacturers. But probably the other big factor is the fact that we're right next door to a mine that hasn't got a great environmental record, and when you're putting together equipment like this, it must be in a clean environment, and we just can't do it there.
So you're talking about the Mount Thorley-Warkworth operation?
Yeah, the Mount Thorley-Warkworth operation in particular. Most of the other mines are good in the valley. The Xstrata is our other neighbour, and they have an expansion program coming up, and I fully support that one, but I can't support the Rio Tinto one.
So moving into the States and ramping up your operations in the States, is that because of proximity to market?
Well, it is. We export more than we sell in Australia, and we've found that that's a continuing trend. Unfortunately for Australian mining, it's become too expensive. We have very expensive labour. We don't get a lot of support from the government, and we have a lot of taxes that overseas countries have and that don't have, and we now got to the point where the miners, they're the same customers, they're just in different countries. So we've had to follow the mining, and that's into places like Mozambique, Mongolia. We're very heavily marketing in South America. We even market into China. We have quite a bit of success in China.
So the recent drop of the Aussie dollar below parity with the US, has that delivered some relief for Aussie manufacturers, and in particular yourself?
It certainly has. It was one of our factors when we bought our premises last September in Twin Falls. But the cost of labour in Australia, to get skilled labour, is very hard, and we train a lot of apprentices. We have at any one time between 20 and 30. We put on probably 6 every year. But it's very hard to keep them after they do their apprenticeship when the mines pay extraordinarily high wages for truck drivers. And we've lost a lot of good tradesmen into the mining industry driving trucks.
But I guess with the downturn, particularly in the coal industry and the Hunter Valley, are you seeing a return of those staff?
Absolutely. That's one good thing. We've recently had some very good past employees come back, and it's great to have them back. They were excellent apprentices, and they stayed for a while and then went out in the big world, and as times have got tough, they've come back, but we welcome them back.
So with your move to the US, you are keeping steel fabrication in Newcastle, is
yes,
that correct?
what we're going to do in the Hunter Valley at Singleton, or out at Mount Thorley, we're actually going to build one of the 2 buildings that we were originally intending to build, and it's a metal preparation plant. And we've put in a lot of automated equipment, robots, CNC equipment, very high-tech cutting equipment. And with that sort of equipment, it doesn't matter where in the world you do it. You could do it in China. The amount of labour contact isn't that important. So we're going to continue doing the metal preparation in Australia, but we'll ship all the components to the US and have them assembled over there, where that's a fairly labour-intensive part of the business.
What will that mean for local jobs?
Well, unfortunately, it's immediately. We've put 5 on in the US already, and we'll put another 15 on over there. So it's 20 jobs that won't come to Australia. We'll retrain the people that are doing this work now to work in our new metal preparation. So it won't cause any loss of employment from our current rate level of about 100 people, but it means the expansion and any future expansion was going to be lost to overseas, which is disappointing.
It's a sign of the times in manufacturing though, isn't it?
It is. There's so much uncertainty with manufacturers in Australia because neither the state or federal government are really getting behind manufacturing. They see the dollars that coal and the minerals are bringing in at the moment. They're only looking at the short term. They're only looking at the term of office, and they're not looking at the big picture, which is what happens in 15 years when these mines move, what's going to be left in Singleton, what's going to be left in Mount Thorley, if all of the manufacturing and the met sector people leave and go offshore.
So what do you think will happen after the September election? If we see a change of government, what do you think will happen for the manufacturing sector?
It's very hard to say. I think there certainly will be some improvements, particularly with the mining industry, because of the promise of the removal of some of those taxes. But with the state government, it's very difficult to say because they seem to be looking at taking away the rights of normal citizens to oppose unpalatable mining expansions.
And you're talking about Mount Thorley?
Mount Thorley Warkworth in particular. They are way behind with their rehabilitation. They have way too much ground uncovered because of the downturn, and they're just tearing it out like there's no tomorrow. And the way they are trying to make their profits for the shareholders is to make large quantities of coal available to the global market.
Thank you so much for your time today, Ian. I really appreciate it. And good luck for the rest of AIMEX.
Thank you very much.
It's Alex Heber from Australian Mining.